guys, in this video I want to do a quick walkthrough and flip through of this building writing skills series. I am so happy that this is working out for my 4th and my 6th grader this year. I wanted to do a short video with just this series. This is 1 out of 3 writing supplements that we're using that is really helping. And it's, I like the fact that it's affordable. So if you have like a young one that might be, whether it's a reluctant writer or they're just struggling with, putting their ideas in a way that flows, right? I think that the way how this is laid out, the structure, it is easy to understand, and I think it's going to help with them organizing their thoughts. Now, I do want to say that we actually tried this 2 years ago and it initially did not work. Nobody took to it, and I had put it aside and decided to give it a try again this year, and it is definitely, as my 6th grader said, it's kind of clicked, right? So they might need a little bit more time. At least that was the case with us, right? Really do like this. The way how I see this is that this is helping them build the skeleton of their story. If they have ideas, maybe it may not be flowing, or they may not know how to put it down on paper in a way that it makes, like a true story, forms a true story, at least the body of a basic story. The way how this is structured, the fact that it has planning sheets in it, the way how it's laid out, I think that it really kind of almost holds their hand and helps them to do that. They still do need a main writing curriculum, in my opinion, to really, dig a little bit deeper. But this is this has been very helpful. This is actually their favorite part of their writing this year, all right? For my 4th and my 6th graders. Okay. And I've shared in quite a few of my videos that specifically with my 6th grader, especially within the language arts, we need a little bit more for her. And the fact that this building writing skills made it clicked for her is probably the reason why I like the series so much. She actually enjoys telling stories, like verbally. She's always telling a story. So now she's enjoying the fact that she can now, use something to guide her in writing. So she has been writing a lot, okay? And now I do let them write like in docs, right? So she's been, typing up her stories, doing a lot of typing for her writing. Anyway, all right, so we have the table of contents, what we'll be doing in this first book, what they'll be covering, types of writing, 5-step writing process, suggested books. So books, examples of the different styles of writing, personal narrative, story narrative, opinion writing, informative, explanatory writing, additional award-winning products. Some quotes from some famous writers about the author. So now they're a very simple diagram to point out the types of writing: narrative writing, the 2 types, opinion, informative writing. Now, I think that this, it can be done, excuse me, it can be done on their own, but at least I'm basing this off of my own kids. If it is they can do this on their own, they may not need something like this. I don't know if that makes sense, right? Like I have one of my kids, I know that she can do this totally on her own, but this doesn't really, she don't need something like this. And even though my 4th and my 6th graders, they can read it on their own, I really do think that it's helpful, for me to still do it with them and kind of, push and guide them along for them to really get the benefits of it, right? So hopefully that helps. All right, so we go through the 5-step writing process: pre-writing, first draft, revising, editing, publishing. And what I like is that as they go through, it keeps the same format. It just now it goes a little bit deeper and tells them what they're going to be doing in the pre-writing, first draft, revising, editing, and publishing stages, right? And then they give them plan sheets with the 5 steps, right? And with blank, spots. And they could follow the same 5-step writing process with their own ideas and plug it in. So, you could reproduce it, and they can continue to work on that until they get stronger, and maybe they don't need something like this. Absolutely love that. So they have some suggested books here that they can, read, picture books if they wanted to see an example of a printed personal narrative, story narrative, opinion, or informative writing. All right, and then it goes to an example for all the different types of writing, styles, it goes through an example, errors and all, starting with the first draft to the final draft. All right, so you have the 5 steps, and as pointed out here, it's going to show them what they're going to be working on during the pre-writing stage. So they're going to decide on a topic, brainstorm, consider who will read your writing, gather information, organize the information, and then they're going to be, filling in information for the beginning, middle, and end of their story. What they're going to work on when it's time to work on their draft, what they're going to be working on when it's time to revise, edit, and publish their story. All right, very helpful. And now they're going to go through the example, and the boxes that you see here, the empty pages or the drafting pages looks the exact same way, just of course empty, so that they can use it for their own stories. All right, so the pre-writing brainstorming stage. And when they get to the beginning, middle, and end portion of the pre-writing, I like the fact that it shows them that in the beginning is when they want to answer those, like narrative questions, right? In their main writing curriculum, it says that they learned that when they're approaching narratives, they need to make sure that they answer those, 5W and how questions. Now, it doesn't point out how here, but it still, drives the same idea, in my opinion, that they need to make sure that they set up their story and, the people can answer, or the reader can answer those very important questions, right? Then, of course, they have all of the main ideas that they want to explore for their story in the middle, and then a strong conclusion. They're going to go through the first draft, the revising. Now, during the revising stage, all right, they're going to read what you have written and make changes if needed, keeping in mind what others suggested. They're going to add descriptive words, add more details, and there's some questions here that's going to guide them through, right, so that they can work on, improving their draft. Okay, once they write their revised draft, then they're going to do some editing. Do they have to, make correct some of their spelling? Did they use all their correct capitalization and punctuation? And they have spaces so that they don't have to think about what it is they missed. They can just write it in there, so that when they are writing their final draft, it's all written there for them. And then they have their final draft. I really like how clear this is written out. All right, so of course it has the blank pages now. Then it ends with each type of writing has one work through example, and then it gives them some prompts. Some prompts. What I am doing with them is that they're going to use one prompt, so they're going to be writing 2 stories for each type of writing. One from the prompt, and then one of their own. It gives them it gives you a rubrics that you can use if you wanted to mark, their writing. And that's the basic flow for all of the different types of writing. Difference being with the story narratives, because of course they have to create the setting, the plot themselves. Of course they have to come up with the setting, the characters, problem. Beginning and introduction, middle, and conclusion is similar, right? But they have to come up with all of this themselves, of course. All right? But other than that, the flow is very much the same. All right? Now, the book 2 is just like the book 1, just more advanced. So, they're going to be going through the types of writing. Again, each one is going to work through an example. And then they have their plan sheets and prompts. Okay, with the rubrics. Okay, so it's very much the same as the level 1, just more advanced. Now the building writing skills is a little bit different. Okay, this building writing skills, after they have, They have worked on building a proper story, so to speak. They know how to take their ideas and make it flow properly. Now they're going to be working on specific things to help them make their story stronger. Still as a supplement, not as a main curriculum, but they're going to be working on different skills. Now I have this book that one of my kids, only one of them really use it anymore. She uses it as so almost like a dictionary, a reference dictionary for getting ideas for similes, metaphors, different things like that. And this book, depending on when they do it, when they're finished with it, and the child that you're working with that you're using this book with, I think this can be used as their own reference as well. Okay, as after they work through things like vivid verbs, active or passive voice, and all of these different things pointed out here in the table of contents. All right, so just quick look through. Let's see, they're going to be plugging in all of those examples, and they can use that as their own reference. All right, so I really do like this series. I want to say that because it is affordable, I think that if it is you have a child that might be struggling with writing and you've tried a lot of things and it didn't work, I really do think that this is worth a try, right? Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you in another video. Bye.